Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? So Erislandy Lara versus Brian Castano ends in a draw. Shout out to Erislandy, he actually called it. His prediction was this fight would end in a draw right before the fight started. Boy, I tell you, they just keep putting Erislandy Lara in there with the toughest opponents, because this Castano was no joke. And I was really impressed with Castano. I mean, here he is fighting against one of the best junior middleweights in the world, and he put on an impressive performance. Brian started off slow in the first round. After that, he picked it up. He got real aggressive. He worked on cutting the distance, because whenever he was in the perfect range for Lara, Lara is a sharpshooter with that left hand. He was landing that left hand almost at will, but Brian did a good job of once again closing the gap and letting his hands go. Brian put an enormous amount of pressure on Erislandy Lara, just like Jarrett Hurd did. Matter of fact, Brian, he had said the difference from him and Jarrett Hurd is he's going to apply the pressure, but he's going to be more accurate. That's actually interesting that he said that, because it looked to me like Lara was the more accurate puncher out of the two. Although Brian was throwing a lot of punches in bunches, but Lara, credit to him, he was doing a great job of slipping a lot of the punches. Sometimes he would tie up Brian, and other times he just knew how to turn, slip, dip to the side, and just slip a lot of the punches. So a lot of these rounds were extremely close. They could have went either way, which I understand this fight being a draw. In the second half of the fight, both fighters picked it up with the body shots. They were both landing great body shots. Erislandy Lara, he was showing that he could fight on the inside a little bit if he has to, which Castano was basically forcing him to fight on the inside. Whenever a fighter is constantly pushing you to the ropes, that means he's using effective pressure and aggression. Erislandy Lara, he kind of reminds me of a Mikey Garcia, because I always tell you guys, Mikey Garcia has one of the best 1-2s in the business, his jab and his right hand. Same thing can be said with Erislandy Lara in reverse. His jab and his left hand is probably one of the best 1-2s in the business as well. The difference is obviously Mikey Garcia is more of a busier fighter. But the reason why I bring up that comparison is I notice both of these fighters, they have to be in the position to land that right hand or land their straights. They prefer to fight long distance than fight on the inside. But if they're forced to fight on the inside, they will fight on the inside. And once again, Castano, he was doing a great job of taking away the distance of Lara. Lara was really listening to his trainer, though. He was really listening to his corner, because Ronnie Shields told him to start going to the body more and start picking him up with the uppercuts. And that's exactly what Lara started to do in the later rounds. And he was effective with it. If I would take away anything from Erislandy Lara, is he refused to fight on the front foot. And what I mean by that is there were times in this fight where Lara may have actually hurt Castano. I don't think Lara knew that he hurt him, but there were times when all of a sudden Castano would just back up and not throw punches at all. And you know, when you see someone who's been coming forward the whole night, all of a sudden they get hit with something and they back up and don't throw a punch for almost a whole minute, it looks like they're hurt. So when Castano was backing up not punching, Lara was just following him, but Lara was once again waiting for Castano to get off first so Lara could counter. That's what I mean when I said he doesn't fight on the front foot. I think if Lara would have took advantage of those moments when Castano, he wasn't punching and he was just backing up, I think Lara could have won those rounds decisively and he would have actually pulled off the W. But, you know, it's a draw, and in a certain way, this is good for both fighters. I mean, the 154-pound division is stacked. Castano is a great addition to the division. I mean, there's so many great fights that he could be involved in now. I think him against Jarrett Hurd would be the best one. But him against Jaime Munguia, Harrison, Jamel Charlo, there's a lot of great fights for Castano. So congratulations to both fighters on a great performance. I give Lara a lot of credit because once again, he continues to fight tough opponent after tough opponent. And he's 35 years old now. Let's see what happens in the near future. That's all I got for now, guys. I'm on to the next one.